I was sitting in a hospital bed in the ER, hooked up to monitors and waiting for a scan, when my phone buzzed with 6 missed calls from my neighbor, Carla. I figured it was just one of her usual U1T. Believe what the HOA did now updates, but when I finally picked up, her voice was tight with panic. Your yard is flooding bad. I think someone cut your water line. I asked her what she meant, and she said she watched the HOA's landscaping contractor digging near the easement out front. A few minutes later there was a loud crack, a burst of water, and the guys ran off like teenagers caught sneaking beer. The HOA president showed up, took one look, and said, "Not our issue," before driving away. My water line, cut, on purpose or through negligence, didn't matter, and it happened while I was literally lying in a hospital bed with chest pains. The doctor told me to rest. She didn't even apologize. Instead, she walked over and said, "We'll need you to clean this up before our upcoming neighborhood tour. It reflects poorly on the community." I stared at her, trying to process whether it was the ER meds or if she had really just blamed me for the disaster her contractor caused. "You cut my water line," I said. Every home in our little HOA, every last one ran off the same municipal water trunk line. "What did you do?" she snapped. "Oh," I said calmly. "I shut off the main so my house wouldn't drown." "You can't do that," she barked. "Sure I can," I said. "It's on my property." She sputtered something about bylaws, community responsibility, emergency authority, and illegal interference with HOA utilities, until I finally reached into my folder, the same one where I kept every document from 1994. Onward, and pulled out the original easement agreement. It stated, in nice clean legal language, that I had sole authority to access, maintain, and shut off the water main in emergencies affecting my property. The HOA didn't exist when that paper was written, and no one had the right to override it without my signature, and I hadn't signed a thing. Finally, one of them, a soft-spoken older gentleman named Ron, stepped forward and said, "We'll cover the repair and the cleanup, and we'll get the contractor back out here at the HOA's expense." Denise hissed his name like a tea kettle, but it was too late. The crowd had turned. Within 2 hours, the crew returned, not because they wanted to, but because the HOA president who hired them suddenly found motivation when 50 homes had no running water. They fixed the pipe properly this time, under my supervision. They even reseeded the yard. And when they were done, I went back to the valve and turned everything on again. Water pressure surged through the whole neighborhood. Cheers broke out. Denise didn't say another word to me. Not that day, not any day since. Funny how quiet an HOA gets when they realize the homeowner they tried to intimidate literally controls the water. So if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love seeing the states and sometimes countries roll.